Welcome to the JBJ Management Podcast. I'm Willis Johnson, and you are?
I am Samantha Gordon.
And I'm Camron Powell.
And you got an attitude today. So, what's your deal today? Yeah, so I want to talk about attitudes today. When people got a little chip, got a little edge, what drives that? And then
Stress.
how do you get rid of stress?
Stress drives attitude, lack of sleep, lack of food,
It's not
especially
just
when someone's hangry.
So the hungrier you are.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's a fact.
Oh, yeah.
Especially in women.
Okay. And in men. And in
no,
men.
I don't think that's exclusive to women.
Yeah,
no,
not
I'm
at all.
that way.
I feel like they make it more known. I'm hangry. I'm like, all right.
Well, so what does that do?
Hey, at least we make it known. You guys just sit there and you brood. So when you sit there and you brood, and I you know why I need some food.
Well, yeah, I think that's a point that men mask their stress.
They got to be strong. Boys don't cry.
And that's a piece of crap. I think that's what's wrong with a lot of men. I mean, yes, we've been taught. So funny. I told my wife that just today. We've been taught to not show emotion. Oh, that's weak. Oh, you're going to cry. But I will tell you this. Since my mother died, it changed my emotion level. I cried in a heartbeat. It's just, up until my mother died, I don't know. It's like, I don't know what it is, but it's just different. It is different. And I think you put too much pressure on young boys.
Yeah, that's why the mental health crisis is so bad in young men. Young men have the highest suicide rate.
I think because they're holding things in. And so whatever you're holding in today.
I'm not holding in anything.
Okay,
Also,
well, let it out. You want to be mad? Go ahead and cuss. Go ahead and cuss.
That comes stress
I heard
or not
that you
stress.
cuss a lot.
She
I
does.
do, but that comes stress or not. But you know, it's funny. I mean, how long have I worked here? 3 years? And this is the first time I think you've ever said it's different today.
Yeah, I can feel it. I
Yeah.
walked in the room.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
What's wrong with her?
And it's like, you know, when everything goes wrong in the morning, and then you're just like, all right, now I'm hungry. But then it's also like everything's just gone wrong.
So every now and then you just want to say F it.
Apparently this morning I did. So.
What would make it better?
Oh, nothing. I mean, nothing would make it.
That'll make it better because you'll come out of it.
Oh, I'll come out of it, and I'll come out of it by end of day. Like end of day, it'll be good. It was just like it's a fun
Time.
I don't know.
So because I think Donald Trump is always on edge. I think he's always stressed. I don't know what his life was like. Now I know I'm being political now. I get that. But I think he's always on edge. And then he just won. And now, well, so what? Who cares?
Speaking of that, boss. Oh, I'm sorry.
No. I'm curious.
You're government relations. You're a political guy. What are your predictions for this year's election?
I think that there are enough. Now, I want people to advertise on this podcast one day.
That's the goal.
I'm transparent about that. But I just think Donald Trump is a terrible person. I don't think he's good for the country. Unfortunately, I don't think Joe Biden is a terrible person. But I saw Joe Biden in Dallas recently, and
I don't think he's fit to run a country.
So.
Yeah, and enter me. My first votable election was Donald Trump and Joe Biden.
Ooh, they were probably 60 when you were born, both of them.
My point. I mean, me and John talked about this.
No.
Joe Biden he was like 12 or 14 years old when Emmett Till got lynched, and he's the president of the United States now. That is crazy to me. I feel like there should be an age limit. You have an age limit on pilots. There should be an age limit on public office. I feel like, for example, like our, when it comes to like the justice system and our judges and stuff, there's like no term limit, no age limit. I think that's a little weird, in my opinion. Just because like things change so much throughout time, and like you're getting tried by someone who.
But I'm
relate.
not sure I want a 24-year-old making a decision.
There's still a limit on how young you can be as well. You have to be at least 35 to be the president anyway. Like there's an age,
which I have a problem with that too.
Floor.
If I
not an
can
age
go to
ceiling.
war, if I can go to war at 18
Exactly.
or 19, I ought to be able to be the president as
Mm-hmm.
well. So I don't like limits. I don't like fences. I don't like tops.
barriers.
As a minority business owner, I've seen a cap on so many things. I don't like that.
Mm-hmm.
So, and now this is going to get me in a lot of trouble, but I'm going to say it anyway. White men have determined the limits of everybody except themselves. They decided, all right, we'll let a woman vote. All right, finally, we'll let black people vote. Well, finally, okay, we'll let some Hispanics come in from Mexico. It's the white man that determines that whether a woman can have an abortion in Texas or not. Well, when's the last time he had an abortion?
The last time he got pregnant.
I'm just saying I have a problem.
Double standards and things like that.
Okay, we better move on.
Along those lines of double standards, there's this, the internet is always feuding about relationships and men this, women that, when really it's just supposed to be a unity in the team. It's been painted to be a competition of the sexes like lately. And one of the more recent kind of trends women are calling the orange peel theory. I'm not sure if you've heard of it, where it's, ask your significant other if, to do an insignificant task, something that you're totally capable of doing, but just see if they'll do it just because they love you out of the kindness of their heart. Like, oh, hey, can you help me peel this orange or something like that? And
well, don't ask her today.
Bad thing is I would still do it. Like even today, I would still do it.
and
Even when you're angry?
Mm-hmm. Oh, 100%. For me though, I want to help, but that's like my entire personality is based off of being kind and generous and wanting to help. At the same time, I have a little flair. I can be spicy, but I do want to help. I want to give everything I can to someone to be the best, to help them be the best person. And so, I mean, that comes in small things. If you ask me to help you peel an orange, I'd be like, yeah, sure. What can I help you with? How can I help?
Well, when I think about oranges, I think about burnt orange.
oh Lord,
Oh, did that hurt?
Oh, that one hurt.
Oh, did that
That
hurt?
one hurt.
Did that hurt? Where's your camera?
That one hurt. Ouch.
With that, we go to the Tyler Rose, who bleeds burnt orange. Earl Campbell,
That he does.
Heisman Trophy.
And I have a lot of respect for him, okay? Born and
Wait.
raised Austin. I got a lot of respect. Okay, so this week on Can You Relate, we're talking about the cold weather. It has been a very chilly last couple of days
Home sweet
here
home.
in Texas in general.
But if you're in Montana, Minnesota,
And that's Cam. You're from Minnesota.
I sure am.
How is this cold to you? Because I know how it is to me. I can imagine what it is to Mr. Johnson over there.
It's hilarious. I think our low was like 15 degrees and the wind chill made it 2. And back at home, I check the forecast all the time, and the low I think was -8, and the wind chill was -25
In
or 30
Minnesota.
in Minnesota. So as a kid growing up, waiting on the school bus in 20 below zero, just being bundled up, going outside for recess and sledding down the hill when it's 10 degrees outside, like it's just very interesting to see the cultural differences. And it's not, I mean, it still is cold. Don't get me wrong. I did forget my jacket at home and still walked to and from the car just fine, but to see everyone bundled up with parkas on and it's 20 degrees outside is hilarious.
Oh, I got my fur on. I brought the fur out.
But
we are doing a mob wife vibe right now.
oh Lord,
the fur is out.
the biggest difference for me is more of an infrastructure thing. Like I'm used to it, I'm fine with it, but I still don't leave the house in it down here because people down here don't know how to drive in it. They don't have winter tires. The roads aren't prepped. Nothing's ready for it.
no, I think it's not that people don't know how to drive. I think your other point is well made. The roads are not, we don't have that equipment, and
Yeah.
it's ice.
Yeah.
Typically. Now what we had the other day was some snow, typically we have ice. I don't care who you are, where you're from.
Ice is ice.
You ain't driving on ice. And I think there's this misnomer. Oh, I'm from Minnesota. Let me get out here. All right. It's still ice. Nobody can drive on that.
You're
and
going to slide out like the rest of us.
the
I'm not
older
mad.
I get,
I can't disagree.
I'm looking for temperatures somewhere between, I don't know, about 45 for a low and about 75 for a high. I went to Turks and Caicos, I don't know, 2 or 3 years ago. It was 72 every day.
Mm-hmm.
And at night. It was never down. If I was ever going to retire and go someplace.
Turks and Caicos.
Sounds like California.
No. California is cold at night. Turks and Caicos is not.
It's not 45 cold.
California?
Yeah, no.
What?
I mean, in the Bay Area, yes.
Yes, that's what I'm
talking
talking about.
SoCal.
No.
SoCal.
Exactly. It's cold as hell in the Bay Area.
It's a big state. You just gotta
you're right.
differentiate on that one.
Plus, gasoline is so high.
It is.
Oh, man.
So, quick question. And speaking of gasoline, do you guys do EVs?
No.
Interested?
No. Wouldn't be cool to have like in the collection, but no. Did you see what happened in Chicago this week?
No. What happened?
It's so cold that you can't charge them. They're stuck. There's a whole parking lot full of Teslas that won't charge.
Oh.
Temperature affects battery very negatively.
It absolutely does, because it was so cold in our home that the fire alarm kept going off.
Yep.
Oh, dang.
Because of the batteries.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's a false alarm. But it got to like 8 degrees. We have a home out in the country.
Yep.
And there's nothing out there to
block the
keep
wind
that
or nothing.
hawk. Do you know what the hawk is?
Mm-mm.
You know what the hawk is? Anybody know what the hawk is? Okay, your assignment for the next podcast.
Uh-oh.
Really? Because that doesn't surprise me. I want you to get the definition of the hawk. And on our next podcast, we'll open, now with the rest of the team understanding what the hawk is. I'm Willis Johnson. You are?
Samantha Gordon.
And you are?
Camron Powell.
And it's the JBJ Management Podcast.